In this video of the Historic Ordnance series, we're going to look at the former Yugoslavian PMA-3 or PM-Alpha-3 low metallic anti-personnel mine. Now this mine falls into the category of toe popper. Small mine, small amount of explosives, not meant to kill the target, just cause serious bodily injury, so that target has to leave the battlefield for medical care, which drains resources, and it also takes at least one other soldier off the battlefield to take care of that injured soldier until they're evacuated to the hospital. Now, I'm not 100% sure when these entered service, but my guess is it's probably 1960s into the early 1970s. I am not certain. I could find no specific date. It does look like that these were being produced up into the mid to late 1990s. Now, reportedly, Serbia and Montenegro have destroyed their entire stockpiles. I do not know about the other Yugoslav republics, but I do know that the other republics have signed on to the Ottawa Landmine Ban Treaty, so it's very possible they did destroy existing stockpiles. But even though those stockpiles have been destroyed, these mines are appearing all over the world in greater and greater numbers. It kind of looks like maybe someone is still producing them, or a bunch of those mines that were listed as being destroyed were actually smuggled out and ended up on the arms black market, or are slowly being put on the arms black market. Now, countries that have this in service or they've been used in include all of the former Yugoslavia: Namibia, Albania, Bangladesh, Chile, Algeria, Iraq, Cambodia, Lebanon, Mauritania, Peru, Chad, Tunisia, Uganda, and Cambodia. And I want to put in there Ukraine. I've seen some videos and some pictures where it looks like these mines have made an appearance in Ukraine. I am not 100% certain which side is using them, because in the pictures it says it's Russian soldiers, but when you look at the uniforms, they don't look quite right. So it kind of looks like maybe it might be Ukrainians dressed up in Russian uniforms for the pictures. So I'm not 100% certain, but it looks like these are appearing inside Ukraine. Now, some of the technicals on this: it is 4 1/3 inches in diameter, 1.5 inches in height. Weight is 6 1/3 ounces, of which the explosive content is 1 1/4 ounce of tetrol. Now, there is also a note of TNT. It's possible that during the Bosnian Civil War, after the breakup of Yugoslavia, these mines were still in production, and there may have been some that were filled during the war, not with tetrol, but with TNT. There is notes in a lot of the information I could find online that these were produced during the war, and they kind of are finding indications that the ones produced in the war were a different quality, slightly different materials, possibly the different explosive filler, TNT instead of tetrol, but no one has been wanting to do an extreme close-up investigation into it, because it would mean removing a ton of these from the battlefields, and instead of destroying them, examining them. And these mines are not really made to allow for that. They're an extremely dangerous mine. There are notes from deminers that this is one of the most dangerous mines that they ever come across. The Serbs and the Croats, their engineers referred to these as Black Widows. And with how this thing gets set off, I can understand why they are that scared of these mines. Now, the construction of it is Bakelite plastic, which is typically either green or black. That seems to be one of those wartime changes. Green from normal production, possibly black during the war. It is covered with a rubber cap, and that rubber cap is sealed onto the mine. This mine is two different halves, an upper and lower. Both of them are plastic. And how this mine works, the explosive filler is in the top half. Now, when the target steps on this mine, they have to step more towards the edge, cause that edge to tilt to one side or the other. When that tilts, the pressure plate with the explosive in it bends the fuse down here, and it starts a chemical reaction, a spark, a small flame, and that flame then sets off the explosive filler, which would make sense if they're using tetrol, since tetrol is used in a lot of boosters, so it's a lot more sensitive. Now, reportedly, the amount of angle required to set this mine off is only 20 degrees. It is not much. These mines are reportedly blast resistant in that you could launch a mine clearing line charge right over the top of them or right next to them. If the blast pressure is hitting it straight down on the pressure plate, it will not damage that fuse, causing the reaction. The only thing that sets that fuse off is the tilt of the pressure plate. The fuse that is in these mines is a PMA-3. It is a friction chemical fuse. Reportedly, it only takes between 4.5 to 18 pounds of pressure on that pressure plate to tilt it and then snap the fuse and start the reaction. Combat life on this is at least 6 months. Past 6 months, the rubber starts to degrade, allowing moisture to get inside. And reportedly, as we've seen with other Yugoslavian fuses, when the friction chemicals inside the fuse get damp, they become useless and will not ignite. The manufacturer in the manual stated that they have a 10-year life in the field. However, deminers are saying that's really optimistic because the rubber used for the pressure plate and to join the two halves together is not that good. Average life that they see is about 6 months before it starts to crack and break open. This mine is similar in operation and appearance to the Swedish Li-11 and the German DM-11. All operate pretty close, reportedly. Temperature range is from -4 degrees to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. This probably has to do with the chemicals in the fuse and the tetrol. Reportedly, these mines can be submersed into up to 8 inches of water. However, there is a lot of airspace inside these mines, so these mines will float. The only way you'd be able to put this in water is you would have to attach it to some type of anchor, and you'd have to attach it in a way that wouldn't set off that fuse. Plus, you'd have to make extra sure to waterproof the hell out of the fuse plug on the bottom of the mine, because a little bit of water getting inside the mine will damage the fuse, prevent it from being set off. Now, installation on this, a little bit more complicated than you think it would need to be, but it's the procedure that they had for it. First off, inspect the mine and the fuse, the PMA-3 fuse. Make sure there's no damage. Obviously on the mines, make sure there's no degradation on the rubber. Now around the outside here on this picture, you can see you got yellow tape, and that yellow tape holds down a safety ring, which is held on in place by string. Go through, make sure all that stuff's there, all of it's in serviceable condition. Check your fuse well, make sure there's nothing inside. Everything passes inspection. Your fuse passes inspection, there's no damage on it, and this is what the fuse looks like. This is the best picture I could find. Go to the area where it's going to be installed, dig a hole for the mine, and you want the pressure plate to be level with the ground or a little bit above it. You do not want a lot of dirt over the top of it. You want primarily grass or a thin layer of sand over the top for camouflage. So prep your mine, turn the mine over, open up the fuse plug, take the fuse here, insert it black end first into the mine. Now you can kind of see in this picture the bottom of the fuse well here has like a star cut in it or a cross cut in it. That lines up with, you can kind of see on here, there are some ribs on this part of the fuse. This lines up in there, and that's like a kid's toy. Turn it till it will start going into place, and push it in until it stops. Do not force it. Once that detonator is seated in there, you're going to unscrew the safety cap from the bottom of the fuse here. That's the green part. Unscrew that. Now the mine is getting really dangerous because you've uncovered the part of the detonator here that gets damaged to cause the reaction. So you then take the fuse plug, screw it back into the mine. Once you got it set, you're going to take off the tape from the side of the mine, unwrap the string a little bit, put the mine into the hole, unwrap the string some more, camouflage the mine, and then it says pull the string until it unlocks the safety clip here, and the safety clip apparently is under a lot of tension. It will just spring open in the ground, freeing the pressure plate. At that point, take the string with you, and reportedly it's not uncommon to find these mines with the safety clip still around them, just inside the hole but free from the mine, still allowing enough movement. That's been noted by deminers. Move out of the area. The mine is live. Now, removal on this. Don't. Everything I came across said, do not attempt to remove these mines, destroy in place, because it is impossible to, even after you may be successful in getting the detonator out, you're never going to be able to get the safety clip back on there, which means this mine cannot be reused. So everyone says, the Yugoslavians, former Yugoslavians and the Russians, everyone says destroy in place. Now there you go, the Yugoslavian PMA-3 low metallic anti-personnel mine. Now for all my engineer brothers in the Patriot and militia movements, always remember, essayons.